extremely lazy day where the entire highlights for the day was removing myself from bed, returning some rented DVDs, which I think I highlighted. John Wick, thumbs up, kind of a no thinking action movie. Transcendence, kind of a drama with action, a little bit more of a thinking movie. The Equalizer, kind of slow going with Denzel Washington, but very well filmed. There's a whole lot of like slow-mo where shit is blowing up, you know, that kind of thing. That was really good. And then somebody wanted to see Girl Gone. I think that's based on that piece of shit cop that was offing his wives. Haven't watched that one yet. But gonna try to do this as quickly as possible because I have a pork rib porchetta roast in the crock pot for 5 hours, and I can hear it calling my name. What are we looking at today? Other than those, it's kind of raspberry tart from New Glarus Brewing Company. Wisconsin ale brewed with raspberries. There is not an alcoholic percentage on this, and but you know, we know it could be good. They didn't use enough wax, really, and yeah, I know Tardisius, it's not Maker's Mark, but I think that's again, I'll be using the Steve Bush opener without removing any wax. Could be dangerous. It all worked out. Of course, with all the wax, now it's stuck inside the opener. And there actually is something in there. I don't know if it's ooh, it's like, now it's like boogers. See, it looks like that. Whatever. Okay, and technically that's not a proper glass. Yeah, gonna live dangerous and just put it in a different glass. A used glass, actually, to be totally honest. It's probably a pseudo feel-good, maybe not drunk review, because I've been partaking in Lagunitas brown sugar substitute, the Bombers. Possibly one of the best beers available right now. And if nothing else, it smells freaking awesome. Lagunitas, that is. We don't know about this yet. Well, it's a raspberry ale or raspberry beer. So it definitely has a reddish, say, raspberry color. Plenty of head. Pink head at that. Haven't had a sip yet. Want to try it? You could have first honors. Oh wait a second, you gotta give them the... Smells like raspberries.
I don't want this.
It's not a beer, it's a girl wine cooler.
It's not. Ugh.
You ain't gonna try it?
No.
Okay. How's dinner looking?
It's done.
Did you find something cool and inspirational that you are... It's done.
What?
What?
Dinner tonight is done, yeah.
Okay. Okay, cheers, guys. Well?
Tastes like shit.
No? I mean, anybody that goes out and buys a big bottle of something called raspberry tart, I'm sure you need to expect, I'm thinking at least two things. One, a subtle raspberry-like flavor, and
Followed by the tart.
that is tart. And it is both of these. Now, they had blueberry.
I think blueberry and peach. I'm not positive.
I'm not 100% sure because I haven't gone to look to see if it's like, I mean, obviously it's in the big bottle over at the Keyport. That's the only place I've ever actually seen those. When I was actually working close to Ground Zero in Hinkytown, Wisconsin, you could not get anything like that. So I think this is kind of a more of a limited reserve kind of a thing.
Would that be like a good beer for like maybe summer versus winter? Because I'm sure, flavors go with seasons.
Yeah, I would also say if I had a bunch of beer lovers over that liked raspberry, maybe as a dessert beer to a dinner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's a lot of, they call it the shanties, where they have like lemon, like just stuff that would be more of the kind of shit you'd want to grab after you got done mowing the lawn. That kind of thing. This, well, it is very natural tasting. It doesn't by no means it has an artificial flavor at all. It kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the stuff I've had from the brewery, like the Tart of Darkness. That actually was a lot more tart, almost like that. You just want to go. This starts off, has a kind of a light, heavy, medium light mouthfeel to it. You get the flavor of fresh raspberries, followed by a nice, pleasant sweetness. And then it just kind of gives you that wave of the tartness. I mean, it's not real complex. It's definitely a step up from any kind of a raspberry wine cooler that I've had. You can tell the effort into the quality. Now, is it beer like? I guess this falls for what the stuff she doesn't like. Anything that's considered a malt beverage. It instantly gets classified as a. Now, if I told her that this was a rum based, she'd probably be like all over it.
No, I wouldn't. It still has beer.
I could probably dump a little rum in it and not tell her, and then hand it to her, and she'd be like, "Oh, this is really good."
No.
I mean, again, going into it, it's raspberry tart. Raspberry bouquet, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. It just seems like a big bottle filled full of raspberries and tartness with some alcohol. Alcohol, it did not say anything on the label. Getting the feeling that it's
More for chicks than it is for guys. Yeah, okay.
It's extremely low on the alcohol. Here, try it.
I don't like beer.
It's not beer.
It is beer.
It's raspberry. Where on here does it say anything about beer?
It's beer. It was in the beer cooler at the beer store, so therefore it must be beer.
Wow, how can you argue with that logic?
Don't start, smartass.
I'm not really getting any alcohol on it at all. I'm going with, well, first of all, this is a Wisconsin-based brewery, so, shame on them if they're actually going to produce really, really low alcohol percentage crap like we can go buy at a gas station. That's just so stupid. It's like, what is it, 3.2 in a gas
3.2.
station? That's the
In
max.
the grocery stores. Well, at least around here. I know some places in the States are different.
Remember the first time I was ever on like a major road trip and stopped at I don't even remember what the hell the kind of a grocery store it was, and I was just like, wow, these people have a nicer liquor store in their grocery store than I've ever even seen at home. Maybe 4.5%. Been pretty lucky on my guesses. I've had a few a while back that were like way off, like 3.5% low, but usually it's always that low, the guessing low when it's disguised in there. I don't. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with like 4.5%.
Well,
It'd be nice if it was at least 5, but
it's not probably for you then.
it is a chick drink.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Okay, Shelby. All right, I'm out of here.
You're out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll be right behind you because that porchetta is.
And then later on in the week, I'm gonna make those Hawaiian ham and cheese sliders.
Is that possibly going to be a Miss Bomey video?
Yeah.
Is this because of Steve Mealteen's request?
Yeah.
Ham and cheese sliders?
Hawaiian ham and cheese sliders.
Hawaiian ham and cheese sliders. Oh, so the difference between any other slider than a Hawaiian is you add pineapple to it.
Well, I don't know what all the ingredients consist of at this point. I have not.
I think this might have more than just raspberries in it. Getting like.
It smells like something else in there too. I don't know what though. Well, enjoy that chick drink.
Thank you. It almost like blueberry, maybe strawberry, the wild berry. Just seems like it has a lot of berries in it. What?
It smells like a berry mix.
Oh, again, almost need to just start over. Just kidding. How do you put that genie back in the bottle? That has happened. There's been what the hell happened one time? I don't remember what beer it was. It was something that I could not go get another one of, and it's like as I popped the bottle off, or the cap off the bottle, it slipped through my fingers. It hit the ground. It did not break the bottle, but it like instantly emptied it. It was just like, okay, well, I guess I'll be reviewing something different. Okay, I'm not exactly sure how to categorize this because, well, Wisconsin ale brewed with raspberries. Okay, so if we just go with and we just keep it in the Heffy category. Speaking of fruits, I noticed that my friend Jeremy, Pre-Dawn Death, has been checking out a few more videos. This isn't necessarily a sign that he actually gives a flying shit about brew reviews. This is more of a sign that he has more time on his hands than he used to. And we've had quite a few more subscribers. I think the one thing I think is really cool, and I want to say hi to all the new subscribers that I've gotten via the moto blogs. Started off with my friend Neil. I don't know if he made a comment or something, and I gained a few, but a few of you guys have gone over and checked out your channel and watched the videos, and it's, well, long story short, I have had a motorcycle since I was since I was 12. I had a Suzuki GS where was the TS? GS 185. And I actually, did I use that bike? No, I didn't use that bike. I used a GT 380 to take my motorcycle part of my road test to get my endorsement for that. And I've had a motorcycle pretty much all the way up until I needed to make a decision on. At the time, the slut that I was married to was too busy probably spending her money on her boyfriends, and I needed to like cover the house payment, which she wasn't reliable for. And I sold a motorcycle. I sold that motorcycle to a good friend for an extreme discount with the conditions that if I ever wanted to use it, I had access to it, which he kept up on until he had a very misfortunate incident on his way home from work one day. Probably as fluky as it gets. He used to keep a day bag, everything that he had for the day, change of clothes, that kind of thing, just a small little bag, bungee corded to the passenger seat. And the bungee came off on one side. The bag swung around, went between the fender and the wheel, hooked the wheel, followed the wheel till it got to the swing arm, and actually stopped the tire from rotating at like 60 miles an hour. Left a skid mark, I don't know how long, over 100 and something feet, and the bike started to go down on one side, and as he corrected, if you've ever ridden a bike and you overcorrect, all of a sudden it grabbed and literally just slapped him as hard as can be straight into the ground. He ended up having to have facial reconstructive surgery and was wearing full riding chaps, a race leather jacket, and a full-faced helmet. If he wouldn't have been wearing that helmet, he would not be with us today. The bike was destroyed. He ended up with a long recovery, and thankfully he decided to kick that horse in the ass, and when a friend of his died and his motorcycle was left to him, he immediately started riding again, so he still rides. Me, right now, I guess the Cliff Note version is a good friend of mine has no place to store his 2000 Honda Goldwing, so I store it I store it all the time in my garage, and in exchange for taking care of it, I obviously have access to it. And he's ex-military. He's gone through some really hard times, and I don't know, I've had the bike for like 3 years, and I think he's ridden it maybe a mile in those 3 years. But as much as it's nice to have the freedom of the motorcycle to be able to get out and do stuff, the Goldwing is such a departure from stuff that I normally ride. I have pretty much always had, which most people would refer to as crotch rockets, the Yamaha FZR, and you can never ever have enough horsepower. So the Goldwing will definitely remind you that it's not a cafe racer when you dip it into a corner, as you look in the mirror and all you see is sparks coming off of the exhaust system. And being those are a 6-cylinder, it's at least got that for it. So, but yeah, you guys that have subbed, that have all the motoblog stuff, a lot of you guys aren't even that far. We got a lot of people in Michigan. I got some Grand Rapids, Minnesota. It would actually be very cool to get together and meet. My goal, especially if Chuck keeps up on his his pre-inheritance checks that he sends me, is I've been looking at, actually gone down and and sat and talked to the owner of the company, or the dealership just south of me, north of the cities, is the KTM 1290 Super Duke. Basically, if you don't know what those are, it's kind of what happens when someone takes a race bike and almost like a dirt bike and makes a bike out of it. And I never had a chance up until recently to get aboard one of them. And you would think that it would have a real, like most of the bikes that I've owned, kind of stretch you across the tank. And if you try to take it over 100 miles, you just, between your hip and your legs and everything, you just wish you would have never bought that bike. This has an extremely upright position and just a shit ton of horsepower. So it's, maybe we'll get to go for some kind of a ride or something this summer. Either way, I have access to a bike, but every time I take Samantha for a ride, she's just like shakes her head. She goes, "It's like taking the couch out on the freeway." Okay, well, I'm gonna go finish this, see how it pairs with a porchetta roast. So at this point, I probably need to tell you what I think of it. Okay, well, as an ale, I don't know. This one is just going to have to fall into, I guess, the fruity beer category. As far as all the stuff that I've had that has been made with fruit, or raspberries, the blueberries. I've had blueberries. Can't remember all the crap that I've had, but wow. And that just seems like the other day I was ripping on New Glarus because I didn't find any. Of all the things I've had from New Glarus, this is by far, hands down, my favorite so far. So putting it in its own category, I'll probably end up trying some of the other ones, but as far as a fruit infused ale, this is actually outstanding. I guess I'll be surprised to find out what other people thought of it, and the alcohol percentage. But I think it's low on the alcohol, and I'd give it a 10 as far as a beer like this. Once again, I guess the wax thing turned out to be the should have just been clued in. Tomorrow is Monday. The weather is supposed to suck, and I have some soffits, some fascia, and a garage door to do tomorrow. What should we look at tomorrow then? Let's see, we got something else that Ms. Ebomey picked out. Got a couple things that I picked out. Tomorrow seems like a good one. I'll look at this. Samuel Smith's Old Brewery. This is their Tatty Porter. Now, talking to Andy over at Keyport, and he was saying he doesn't really know if it should be considered a good thing or a bad thing, but I guess I don't know if he considered it a rumor or a fact, but Samuel Smith's, evidently, they do not filter their beer for any of their process, and he says they all kind of get a very similar quality to them, but he said, in the big scheme of things, they're still a pretty decent brewery. I personally have not had anything from them so far that I haven't liked, so it'll be interesting to see what the Tatty Porter is. I am a fan of the porters. This is from England, and again, I am not seeing a alcohol percentage on here. Alright. So we're going to look at that tomorrow. And again, I want to say that Pre-Dawn Death is a homo. And I also want to say hi. Had a decent conversation going back and forth with my friend Wade. So that was cool. Other than that, Paul, Hasman440, he requested a final shot of how the porchetta came out, so I'll have to remember to do that, or he's going to be pissed. Pissed, I say. Okay, on that note, blah, blah, blah. I will see you guys tomorrow. And again, cheers to everybody. And again, a big cheers to all the motor blog guys that have been coming over. And you know, I have to say, when Neil, Evil Neil, started doing his moto blog, I was just like, okay, so he used to do some shooting videos, and then, you know, he's got that one where he's beating his head and against the keyboard because he didn't win an AR-15, and then the next thing you know, he's crying like a little bitch because he did get an AR-15. But I really liked a lot of the stuff that he does, and a lot of what you guys I put up, mainly because, I guess in certain ways, because of not having that style bike, or especially this time of the year. I don't know if some of you guys are just really lucky, or you've canned a whole bunch of videos and then you can throw them up right now to tease people that live where there's nothing but snow. So I guess you get to live vicariously through you guys that get to go riding this time of the year. But it's, what amazes me is like the things that capture your attention, because, you know, when Neil basically turned his channel, you know, from the gun stuff and the video game stuff, and then just started to just stay heavy into the motoblog stuff, it's still interesting, and it's still funny. And most of you guys have a great sense of humor, so keep up the good work on you guys' channels. And I say cheers to all you guys. And as always, if there's a tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll take a look at that Taddy Porter from Samuel Smith's. So, cheers, guys.